The Tito press conference after last night's victory, by the way, will be live tonight for the game. As always, if you're ever wondering if I'm going to be live for a game, all you have to do is go to my live tab right here. And if you see that the game is scheduled, the live stream is scheduled, then I will be live for that said game. If it's not scheduled, probably not going to be live. But if it's scheduled right here, you know I'm going to be live. So let's go ahead and get right into the Tito press conference after yesterday's game.
Obviously, pitching's a story for you guys tonight. Let's start with Phillips. It's his first major league save. And obviously, I'm guessing Pagan and Santillan were down tonight.
And Johnson.
And Johnson were down tonight. So take us through that outing. I know it probably wasn't good for your heart, but almost good in the end that he had to face a little trouble, a little adversity, and got through it.
You know what? Adversity's for spring training. Like, I kind of was teasing with him after, guys. You know, you don't have to walk those guys. But any experience is good experience. I mean, he came in the other night and he did really well. He got it done tonight. So he'll leave feeling good. And you know, the 2 walks aren't what you're looking for, but DJ made a really good trip, and he reeled it in, so that is what you're looking for.
One thing I will say is, can Tito tell Zach Taylor that adversity is only in spring training? Because spring training for football would be preseason, right? In training camp. So can, like, Tito tell that to Zach Taylor? Because Zach Taylor loves the adversity card. So, kind of funny how that works out. But, I mean, listen, Phillips in the end, I love Connor Phillips. I do. My butthole was puckered, okay? When we walked the first 2 guys, and out of 12 pitches, 10 of them were balls. I started puckering up my booty cheeks because I was scared. I was scared that, like, this is going to be something stupid where they're going to hit a homer, and all it takes is them hit 1 homer, and now it's 3-2. And as I said in my video yesterday, our offense scares the crap out of me because it's very inconsistent. And I don't think if we would have gotten the ball back, which we would have in the bottom of the 9th if it was 3-2, I don't think we would have been able to score. And that would have been awful. So I will say I do agree with Tito here that, yeah, you know, Connor Phillips, he's going to kind of continue to get better and things like that's going to happen. But yes, he did actually redeem himself by, in the end, first getting a strikeout and then getting 2 flyouts. So, it was definitely concerning, though. It was concerning.
Burns gets his first major league win as well. Did you see the same dominant slider that we all saw, and I'm sure the Pirates saw tonight?
Yeah, and again, I know I've said it probably a million times. As he works ahead, and he'll get better at it, it gets very exciting. I mean, I thought both starters tonight was electric on both sides.
Do you feel like, and once you turn it over to the bullpen, that you have more options now this year? I mean, Ashcraft was a key strikeout there after Franco makes his major league debut, and even Franco.
You know what? When Franco comes in and gives us an inning and 2/3, it made everything reach. You know, because we had to be careful because not only do we have 3 guys down, but you know, if you go extra innings, you got to have a pitcher. So we were, you know, if anybody had a hiccup, we might have been in trouble, but they didn't. They picked each other up.
Got to be rare. A major league debut, a first save, and a first win.
Makes it fun.
All in
you
one
know what,
game.
though? It makes for a fun night because
I will say our bullpen, overall-wise, I've been very amazed with. Pierce Johnson, his first game, the opening day, he didn't really do great. He came in for 9 pitches. It wasn't the greatest, but outside of him, I say for the most part, our bullpen did very, very good. And as we're talking about here with Jose, I think for his first debut, I was pretty happy with it. I will say at the very end, as we're bringing up, he did kind of like, it was kind of like, okay, you need to get him out of here. Get him out of here. Because you had 2 guys on base at that time, and then it kind of looked like he was slowing up. Like, he had really good flow, right? Really good rhythm. And then he started slowing up a crap ton. And it makes sense. He came in after Chase Burns went out. Chase Burns only pitched 5 innings instead of 6. Tito said this before, that this is something that's going to happen with Chase Burns. Don't overwork him. Don't overwork the flow and the motion. So I will say it's like it was a critical situation because that game was critical. We didn't score any runs after the 4th inning. So it was like the 4th inning and then 0 runs the rest of the game. So, yeah, I mean, I think Jose did a great job. I really did. And I kept calling him Jose Franco, so it's Fonco. Jose Fonco.
I mean, I guarantee you Franco had a little heartbeat going, but he looked like he belonged out there. He threw strikes for the most part. He did good. He handled himself really well.
Especially, you've got a couple guys missing from your rotation, but to get what you got from Louder last night and Burns tonight, how much does that boost your confidence?
It helps a ton. I mean, not only do we not kill our bullpen, but we won the game. That's what we set out to do. So
that's another thing with how fast that game was going, because Chase Burns was killing it. He was absolutely destroying it, and he made that game go by so fast by being so good on defense. Obviously, also helped that our offense wasn't really the greatest. But because of that, and I said it during the live stream, our bullpen, it was a very, very light night for our bullpen. This wasn't like the Saturday game where it went to the 11th innings. There was only 4 hits in this game by the Pirates. And when you got 4 hits in a whole entire game, you're really rocking and rolling when it comes to not having to utilize your bullpen and not having to go, left, right, and center. Now, at the very, very end, if you remember in the 9th inning, when we did walk the first 2 guys with Connor Phillips here, they did start working up, getting the bullpen ready. And they were I think they were thinking about replacing him because they had someone getting going and getting ready to potentially come in and take over for Connor Phillips. But when you have a game where you don't have to utilize your bullpen that much, I mean, who do we utilize? We used Jose, then we went to Ashcraft, and then we went to, I believe we went to Phillips right after that, right? Yeah, Phillips right after that. We didn't have to use Mao. Obviously, we downed a couple bullpen guys, but we didn't have to use Mao. We didn't have to use pretty much anyone else. It was just those guys, which, again, you look at that Saturday game, we were going through bullpen guys like left, right, and center, right? Because you don't want to overdo it with your bullpen guys. You don't want to he's not going to go out there and pitch, 20, 30 pitches, especially depending on the level of the bullpen guy. I will say, in previous years, our bullpen has definitely been a big issue. This year so far, I'm actually really liking our bullpen. Ashcraft is also, I always get on him for some wild pitches he throws, which he does throw some wild pitches, but very, very happy with it.
It's good. A lot of good stuff tonight.
As you said, adversity for spring training. How do you feel like Burns' adversity in spring helped him? It felt like he really turned a page over the last week.
He turned the page over the last week? That's the
Pitch
first time he pitched.
ball Milwaukee too.
Yeah, no, I think our plan was good this spring. I mean, it was with him also. We just wanted to get him in a position where he can go make those starts. And it wasn't a penalty box or anything like that. We just wanted to help him get himself ready for every start because we want him to pitch a lot. And like I know I keep saying his future's bright, but I think the present's going to be okay too.
How hard was he stumping to go back out there for a 6, or was it?
No. We were 80 was max, and he was at 70. I'm not going to send a guy for one hitter. That doesn't make sense.
The Pirates Ashcraft was having a pretty good night on his onside to get the runs that you got when you got him. That proved to be just enough.
Yeah, I mean, because I agree. I thought both starters had exceptional stuff. Gino might have pulled every muscle he has. No, you're right.
Chase pitched on March 18th, and after that game, you talked about him trusting his stuff. Where do you feel like he's at in that area?
I think he's still learning. I mean, and that's not an indictment. This kid had, I think, 13 minor league starts last year. He's learning on the job, but and so we try to simplify it. And I know you don't want to just throw it down the middle, but when he works ahead, his stuff can be so dominant that all of a sudden a breaking ball that might be a borderline breaking ball all of a sudden becomes a better one because guys are defensive. You're going to see a lot of that when he works ahead.
The way that Franco gave you an inning in 2/3 in his big league debut, high leverage, is that a pretty uncommon ask of a guy in
Yeah,
his big league game?
very, very. And if he stumbles, I don't know if we had anywhere to go. You know, I looked at it, and he was going to pitch. So I figured if we did it earlier, that would be better, because it just wasn't going to reach.
You talk about Connor finishing out the game tonight. Yesterday, you get the big go-ahead homer. Day before, you get the walk-off hit. What can you say about your team's ability in the first week of the season to take care of those big moments in the game?
Well, I mean, again, I don't want to get too philosophical because it's very early, but we're playing clean baseball. And that's good because we generally give ourselves a chance to win when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I will say across the board, it's so nice to watch a press conference that isn't Zach Taylor. I know I'm bringing up a lot of Bengals in this video, but it is so nice to watch a press conference that isn't Zach Taylor, where you actually hear someone who's competent, and when they say stuff, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's very logical. That's probably the best thing to do. You really can trust the process. But yeah, no, I think the biggest point to take away from what he just said, that last summary, was learning on the job, which I said going into the season. Listen, we have our stars on this team, okay? We have the Ellie Dela Cruz. We have Gino. I like to think Friedel and Spencer Steer a little bit, stars too. And hey, Willie Benson. He did it yesterday, baby. He did it yesterday. Gotta give Willie some love. Gotta give the Willie But, we need some guys, and also Sal Stewart. I don't know why I did not bring up Sal Stewart right there. Holy moly. But Sal Stewart's a good example of this. And don't get me wrong, last year he came up in the last month, and he really was amazing. And this year so far, Sal Stewart's been probably our best player by far. I think by far, Sal Stewart has been our best player. But we need someone like that. We need someone, going into this year where a couple guys really come up and they really, make a name for themselves. And they, as Tito says here, learn on the job. Because a lot of these guys are going to be younger guys. A lot of these guys are going to not have that long track record of career starts in the MLB. So, very excited and very happy to, see someone like Sal Stewart really continue his last month, last year into this season and do really well, because that's what we need. It's not always we got Gino. Now Gino has to burden the load of everyone, to take this team as far as possible. Yes, free agency is just like football. Free agency is great. Free agency is awesome. But free agency is not everything. You need guys that either you draft or younger guys that can come up and really do well. And that's what we've seen so far from Sal Stewart. We've seen, I don't know why Willie Benson's on my list, but Chase Burns also as well. So, and then obviously Jose Franco in our bullpen, he's looked good. Ashcraft has looked good. So I'm just, I'm proud of our guys. And if we want to go for a deep run this year, and we actually want to get to the playoffs and deep in the playoffs, and obviously somehow, some way get past the Dodgers, you're going to need those guys. Because as I've said many times in baseball, it's not an if, it's a when it comes to injury. But, in July, we get back our boy Hunter Green here. We get back him, which is funny because our defense is looking amazing without him. But that's beside the point. But we get him back in July. In 14 days from now, we're going to get Nick back, one of our starting pitchers. So that's going to help out a lot. We also have the other guy, the other player on the IL list with an oblique injury. We get him back in 14 days. So it's one of those concepts, where it's like, hey, there is surviving, right, this season. It's not football. This is baseball. You get 162 games. You got to survive the whole season. But I feel very confident this team in general can, prosper throughout that season. And I think a lot of people are going to be, surprised how well the Reds are doing come this October. So, get ready, get set. It's about to be Reds baseball. See you guys next one. Peace.